she's so fine. Hell of a blows my mind. Hell of a lights my day.
What's good, guys? Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. I'm Irish, Black Irish, and Black Irish is the dark-haired Irish ancestry. Sad news coming out of Illinois. Now, this story came out yesterday in the evening. Aurora woman Tyesha Bell's remains found 18 years after disappearance, police say. I'm going to play the initial video of when she disappeared from her home in Aurora, Illinois.
2 years ago, on the eve of Mother's Day, Tyesha vanished. Minutes before leaving her Aurora apartment, she'd taken a late-night phone call. She left her young daughter in a sister's care, left the lights on and a candle burning, and did nothing to suggest she wasn't coming back. But she never did. Police suspect foul play.
Everything certainly leads us to believe that, yes, this is not just somebody that actually walked away from home.
Police had tips, even conducted searches, but found nothing. Tyesha's mother, Lorna Smith, has spent the last 2 years hoping and praying, haunted by not knowing. That has extracted an enormous toll.
In my heart, I knew something had happened. I don't know what, and still today I don't know what. But I'm praying she's okay.
When Aurora police first began their investigation into Tyesha Bell's disappearance, they focused on a boyfriend. To this day, he remains a person of interest, but he's not been charged with anything, and the case is not moving.
During our investigations, we thought that he was being less than truthful, and when evidently he felt some pressure, he decided to exercise one of his rights and refused to talk to us anymore.
The last phone call that Tyesha took, records show, came from her boyfriend's cell phone. The disappearance of this 22-year-old woman got comparatively little attention 2 years ago, but Tyesha's mother, buoyed by her religious faith, is determined not to lose hope. What is your hope?
That she is still alive until they prove me different. You know, and I tell people that they don't put my daughter in the grave. We don't know. You know, don't nobody know.
Paul Meinke, ABC 7 News.
I think everyone that's watched my channel knows how I feel about missing black women, missing black men, and the studies that show that they do not get the attention that they deserve. And that's why I go so hard for them, because it's completely unfair, it's completely biased, and I don't go for it. So, her case didn't get the attention it deserved. They actually admitted that in the video. But I'm going to go ahead with the story. Over the past 18 years, investigators have tirelessly followed up on numerous leads and theories to bring some sense of justice to Tyesha's family, said Aurora Police Department Bureau of Investigative Services Commander Jack Fitchell. Bell was last seen by her sister in the late evening of May the 10th, 2003, in the apartment they shared in the 800 block of North Randall Road. Police says she left the home after receiving a phone call and vanished. Quote, after she received a phone call, she left the home, but left the television on, candles burning in her bedroom, and 2 young children with family members, Fitchell recounted. She has not been seen or heard from since, end quote. Investigators said they got a break in the case on December the 11th, when someone found remains in a remote wooded area of Kane County. Quote, a number of bones were found along with clothing and other personal effects, said Kane County Coroner Rob Russell. After the scene was processed, the coroner's office removed the remains and brought them to the Kane County morgue for additional testing. They were positively identified using DNA and dental exams. Quote, our detectives continue to have working theories in Tyesha's case, but we need more information before criminal charges can be authorized, said Fitchell. We implore anyone who may have information to please come forward, end quote. Aurora police have set up a dedicated tip line for Bell's homicide. Anyone with information or tips is asked to call 630-256-5517 or email them at tips@aurora.il.us. Tips can also be left anonymously with Aurora area Crime Stoppers at 630-892-1000. I'm going to go ahead and play 2 videos that are associated with this case.
Good afternoon. I'm Jack Fichtel, the Bureau of Investigative Services Commander here at the Aurora Police Department. Thank you all for coming today. This afternoon, we are announcing a new development in a missing persons investigation from 2003. Our detectives, along with the Kane County Coroner's Office and support from numerous other agencies, have positively identified human remains that were located in December. As the remains of 22-year-old Tyesha Bell. As a result of the autopsy, this case has now been reclassified as a homicide investigation. Tyesha Bell was last seen by her sister inside their shared apartment in the 800 block of North Randall Road on the late evening of May 10th, 2003. After she received a telephone call, she left the home, but left the television on, candles burning in her bedroom, and her 2 young children with family members. She had not been heard from or seen since. Over the past 18 years, investigators have tirelessly followed up on numerous leads and theories to bring some sense of justice to Tyesha's family and her loved ones. In December 2020, human remains were located in Kane County. The Kane County Major Crimes Task Force and the Kane County's Coroner's Office were requested to the scene to process and document the scene. The remains were transported to the Kane County morgue for additional testing. I will now turn it over to Kane County Coroner Rob Russell to discuss his portion of the investigation.
Thank you, Jack. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, my name is Rob Russell. I am the coroner of Kane County. In December, the Kane County Coroner's Office was called, December 11th, actually, the Kane County Coroner's Office was called to respond to a wooded area in the county. The skeletal remains were observed in a shallow grave in the wooded area. After confirming the remains were human, we worked together with the Kane County Major Crimes Task Force in processing and documenting the scene. A number of bones were found along with clothing and other personal effects. After the scene was processed, the coroner's office removed the remains and brought them to the Kane County morgue for additional testing. None of the items found at the location confirmed the identification process, so I consulted with a forensic odontologist, which is a dentist, and a forensic anthropologist, which is a bone specialist, to create a profile of the decedent. In mid-December, an autopsy was performed by our forensic pathologist, who is our doctor, with the results pending consultation of the dentist and the bone specialist. Both the forensic dentist and the forensic bone specialist arrived a short time later, and a profile was established. The results of the profile were consistent with an African-American female, 5'5" to 5'11" inches high, approximately 25 to 40 years of age. After consultation with my forensics team, the manner of death was ruled as a homicide. With the profile being created and disseminated, the Aurora Police Department brought forth a possible ID from their missing persons records. APD had already placed the DNA profile on this individual into the CODIS system, so the profile was available. The CODIS system is a DNA national database maintained by the FBI and that law enforcement agencies can enter profiles into and compare with found unidentified decedents. One of the bones from the scene was sent to the Illinois State Police Crime Lab to create and compare CODIS profiles with this suspected missing person. In March, the State Police Crime Lab confirmed that the human remains were indeed that of Tyesha Patrice Bell. APD was notified shortly thereafter. The Kane County Coroner's Office is working with the Aurora Police Department and the Kane County Major Crimes Task Force in the continuation of this incident. Thank you.
While we followed up on numerous leads over the past 18 years, our frustration mounts considering that we believe someone knows what happened has yet to come forward. Our detectives continue to work theories in Tyesha's case, but we need more information before criminal charges can be authorized, and that's where the public comes in. We implore anyone who may have information to please come forward. The Aurora Police Department has set up a dedicated tip line for this case. Anyone with tips or information about the case is asked to call 630-256-5517 or by emailing tips@aurora.il.us. Tips can also be left anonymously for our investigators by calling the Aurora Area Crime Stoppers at 630-892-1000. Thank you.
Cheryl, tonight investigators say the discovery of Tyesha Bell's remains actually happened months ago in a rural area somewhere in Kane County. But they say it has taken extensive autopsies and studying of those bones to determine it was in fact the young mother who they now say was murdered. Tyesha Bell is no longer a missing person.
Over the past 18 years, investigators have tirelessly followed up on numerous leads and theories to bring some sense of justice to Tyesha's family.
Today, her family solemnly filed into the Aurora Police Department to hear the news they've feared for nearly 2 decades.
Our detectives, along with the Kane County Coroner's Office and support from numerous other agencies, have positively identified human remains that were located in December. As the remains of 22-year-old Tyesha Bell.
The 22-year-old Aurora mother disappeared with barely a trace on May 10th, 2003. Investigators say Bell was last seen at the apartment she shared with her sister on North Randall Road in Aurora.
After she received a telephone call, she left the home, but left the television on, candles burning in her bedroom, and her 2 young children with family members. She had not been heard from or seen since.
December 11th, 2020, investigators say they got a break in the 17-year-old case when someone discovered remains in a remote wooded area of Kane County.
A number of bones were found along with clothing and other personal effects. After the scene was processed, the coroner's office removed the remains and brought them to the Kane County morgue for additional testing.
Through forensic bone and dental exams and matching DNA samples, the Kane County Coroner's Office finally confirmed this month bones belong to long-missing Tyesha Bell. Now her family waits to find out who killed Tyesha Bell and why. Investigators say her family has just learned this news of the discovery in the last 24 hours, so they were still too distraught to speak. Investigators say this is now part of an ongoing investigation, so they also would not specify how they believe she was killed, but they're asking for the public's help in any information to track down the person responsible.
Terrible shame. I'm going to give my opinion on the case. There ain't a boyfriend walking the face of the earth that wouldn't help in a case where his girlfriend went missing if he had nothing to hide. This man is guilty. I don't give a damn. He's guilty. I hope somebody out there knows him and knows something. He has slipped up. He has told somebody something. Maybe when he was drinking, maybe just when his conscience was bothering him, if he even has a conscience. Somebody knows something. Somebody can either place him in Kane County, something. They know something. Please, if you have any information about this case, 18 years is a long time to be without your loved one. I cannot imagine if you just try to put yourself in their shoes. Her children would now be well into adulthood. Please reach out to the police if you have information regarding this case. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.